I'm John, and tonight I want answers about impeachment and Syria. There's no stopping us now because we're live.
I'm John Thompson.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm AJ Minnick.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Jim too.
I'm Jennifer Sim.
I'm Loretta Beavers. Those stories tonight on John Wants Answers.
I'm John Thompson.
I'm
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says October 10th, 2019, then we're live. It's one of those days. My guest tonight, the legendary Keith Stattenfield. Let's hope the power stays on for this show.
I feel bad. I put the wrong URL in my tweet.
Uh-oh. That's
I forgot the
like 3 or 4 viewers come from there.
I forgot the T in HTML.
So
It says
HTML.
.html.
Oh, that's not going to work.
No, it's not.
Oh, man.
Like I can't tell people to fix it because if they could see it, they figured it out.
What?
Well, like if you were to talk for like 3 minutes,
Yeah.
I could retweet. I could fix this.
You can't.
That's the best use of live television time, right?
I don't use Twitter. Like, can you fix?
No, I would delete the tweet and then I would tweet a new tweet.
Okay.
It's like when President Trump makes a typo and then he deletes the tweet and he just retweets it again.
Maybe if
in flagrant violation of the Presidential Records Act every time.
If Russia is listening, they can hack into my server, redirect.
That's true. You should if it
to
starts with
HTML.
live, it should just go to your live page.
Yeah.
The .html is
Yeah.
unimportant.
Yeah.
So this is your problem. Okay. Good.
We'll get on that.
No, you won't. But okay.
You wait and see. Next month, live. Just live will work.
Just live will work all by
on its own.
itself. Okay. Great.
I hope this show, we can get to the end of this, because we've been getting emails from PG&E saying your power is going out any minute now.
You've been getting emails. I live in Santa Clara.
You don't have the same power.
We don't
company?
use PG&E. We have Santa Clara Utilities.
Do you have your own power generator?
We
in
do.
there? Where?
Well, we got a bunch of windmills, and they have a couple natural gas plants around the city.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're like not connected to the grid?
We're connected to the grid.
Like, is your grid connected to the rest of California
It
grid?
is, but like our grid's not going down.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you pay as much power?
No, it's cheaper than yours.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
Why am I a schmuck buying this power from PG&E?
That's a whole show.
That's a whole show. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess PG&E didn't want to burn down Paradise again. Well, I guess you can't burn it down again.
You can't.
They want
well,
to burn down.
They started to rebuild. I mean, that would be very bad.
The
Like
rebuilding-
if the people in Paradise that are rebuilding their homes suddenly had to evacuate because the wildfire was coming through again.
Well, the wildfire can't come through again because all the trees burned down, right?
It was grass.
all
There's stuff
trees,
that grows
it's all
back.
trees. I think they're safe.
You think it's like lightning? It can't strike in the same place twice?
All the trees have burned down. There's no fuel.
There's plenty of fuel. There's all those houses.
With asphalt between them.
Asphalt catches on fire.
Wait, really?
Yes, it's made of oil.
I've never seen a driveway or a road on fire. They've melted. I remember there's a story that they're
melting at like 110 degrees.
They're melting
But
the
you get them up
planes.
to like 900 degrees and they catch on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be taking your tweets. You can tweet us today at John Wants Answer.
I swear like 3 minutes ago you told me you don't use Twitter.
I don't use Twitter.
How are you going to take their tweets?
Well, if I use Twitter, like I don't use it daily, I'll use it in a few minutes to see if anyone tweeted us.
Sure.
And that will be the extent of my Twitter
Of
usage.
your Twitter
for the month.
usage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they can go to johnwantsanswers.com
Yeah, they can.
and go on the contact page. We never check that. I
never do.
say every month we check it.
Never do.
We don't.
No.
But no one's ever emailed me there anyways. So it's not a big deal. We have some eager fans who have already tweeted us. We have pre-tweets for today's show.
Wow. Do those count?
Yes.
I thought the whole point of doing a live show was people could tweet us during the show. Like if people could tweet us before the show, then we could just do the show whenever.
Well,
Like I'd get my Thursday nights back.
somehow they tweet us before this show about things they saw last show. So we got to do
They're
a
just
show.
tweeting us late.
Yeah. Okay. I want to get into this now. Scott Canaster writes, will I be zapped? I'm afraid of being zapped. Well, so today I said, Let's hope we have power for today's show.
Never
It'll
explain
be
the joke.
Electrifying. Well, no, it's not that I have to explain
If
the
you're
joke.
explaining the joke, it's not a good joke.
I have to understand why he said what he said. Anyways, if the power goes out, then they turn it back on. Will there be a power surge and it will be zapped?
They try to keep that from happening,
They try.
but
They don't
it's
always.
possible.
It's possible. Okay, well, we have a lot of actual questions about our topics tonight. So
Okay.
I'll wait till later
Okay.
after we talk about the topic. Then we'll talk about these tweets.
How do they know our topic?
Because I just announced before the show.
At the start of the show,
Tonight.
you announced the topic.
I said tonight.
But you said these tweets came in before the show, which means these tweets about the topic came in before you announced the
Okay,
topic.
this is from a super fan
Okay.
who gets inside
Okay.
information.
Okay. Super fan. I
With
forgot.
a leaker.
I forgot about the super fan forum.
There's a whistleblower.
Yes, there's
and
a
he reported
whistleblower.
the topics.
And there's a super fan.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get started here. Our first
John
topic,
wants answers.
impeachment. Okay,
I mean, the piano guy, if the power goes out, he could just do a little melody.
it's acoustic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand two things about impeachment.
Right. That's two more than most people, so go ahead.
The House votes on a majority to
The House impeaches.
impeach.
Yes.
When that's done,
Yes.
then the Senate holds a trial, and 2/3 of them have to vote to convict, and that removes the
They
president.
vote to remove from office. I don't
Yes.
know if it's a conviction, but they have to
Okay.
vote to remove from office.
Okay. Now, what I've been hearing a lot about is an impeachment inquiry.
Sure.
Now, this is not a constitutional step in the process, is it?
It depends on your point of view.
I mean, what are they doing during the inquiry?
They're deciding whether to impeach.
So first they're deciding if they want to impeach, and then they vote whether they want to impeach.
Well, it's like if you have a grand jury.
Okay.
Grand juries indict people and ham sandwiches. And they indict people at the end of the process. So a prosecutor digs up a bunch of evidence, brings it in, shows the evidence to the grand jury. Grand jury looks at the evidence, they consider things. Eventually they say, hey, would you guys like to vote to indict this person? And the grand jury has a vote and they've indicted them.
Okay.
So
The inquiry is
you
like
could
a
say
trial.
only the vote at the end is the grand jury. Everything before that was an inquiry into whether we should indict a guy or not. But the whole thing is part of the grand jury process. And in the House, they are very likely to take up articles of impeachment, and they are collecting evidence and having hearings and looking into things in preparation for that.
Okay. So the inquiry
So
is them
the
figuring out.
Constitution didn't define how the whole thing should work. They had to write shit by hand back then, and so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
only used a few words. But this is part of impeachment.
Okay.
The House is considering impeachment, and at some point they will very likely have a vote on whether to impeach or not.
So the articles of impeachment will be all the charges of what they're impeaching for. They'll list like
They
number-
will
number
clearly
one.
bring a number of things they believe constitute a high crime or a misdemeanor, things which, should impeachment pass, the Senate could consider as a reason to remove the person from office.
Okay. Do we know what articles of impeachment we're expecting?
Very likely, well, I think obstruction of Congress is likely, because Trump has said to many people, under no condition may you go testify to Congress.
Oh.
Congress has subpoena power. You're not supposed to defy a subpoena. One of the charges they were looking at filing against Nixon was obstruction of Congress.
Right.
One of the impeachment charges they did file against Clinton was for obstruction of obstruction of a justice process by
Right.
Congress.
Should a president?
They will likely say that attempting to entice or coerce a foreign government to investigate someone running against you for president constitutes an attempt to encourage a foreign government to interfere in a U.S. election, and that's
That's bad.
that's illegal.
Was there a good reason to withhold money that Congress already allocated to Ukraine?
Well, I don't think so, but
Are whistleblowers committing an act of treason?
they're not, because they're following the law that Congress passed.
The law says if you see something,
And we technically are in a
say
state of
something.
war, so I don't think you can actually commit treason right now.
So they sound like patriots.
Or at least bureaucrats.
So the Senate, the Capitol building in Washington,
Yes.
rumor has it they have a jail.
They do, in fact, have a tiny jail.
It must be full of people who are ignoring the subpoenas to testify.
I don't think it is.
No? Like, how large is the jail? How many more
I don't
can we fit in
think
there?
it's that large. I think it's tiny, in fact.
Oh, so how many people are in the jail now?
I don't think any are.
None?
I don't think so.
Why are people ignoring subpoenas from Congress and there's no repercussions?
That's a great question.
I know. I only have the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ignoring the subpoena because they either don't want to testify and they don't want to invoke their Fifth Amendment right not to testify.
So, can the executive branch, the president, tell someone not to testify?
Well, clearly they can tell someone not to testify.
Do
The
they have
question
the
is whether they have the
authority-
right to
The
do
right,
that.
yeah.
I mean, there is this principle called executive privilege, and there's a principle that the president ought to be able to use people underneath him to have discussions and make decisions, and some of that shouldn't have to be public because the president needs to get correct information and needs to get truthful information, and people need to think they can speak freely about things, even if it came out, it would be embarrassing
Right.
or whatever. That doesn't apply in a lot of cases. I don't know if there's a huge amount of exact case law of exactly where it does apply. Someone that doesn't work for the president can't claim executive privilege over.
Okay.
So some of the people that are being told not to testify clearly have no executive privilege. There's no executive privilege that could apply.
All right. So not just anybody can ignore subpoenas from Congress.
Why?
Only friends of the president.
Even people that the executive privilege is asserted for, to me, have to show up,
Oh,
and then they should say,
I plead the fifth. or something.
well, not I plead the fifth, right? I can't answer that because of
Oh.
an executive privilege claim.
They should be doing that. Why aren't they doing that?
They're bad people.
Oh. The White House said it won't cooperate with impeachment.
Yeah. That's not a.
Is that a thing? Is
I
it
don't
allowed?
think that's. I mean,
Not
No.
cooperating means you're
like
violating
Nixon said, I'm
subpoenas?
not going to turn over the tapes that were made secretly in my office.
Right.
And it went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, yes, you are going to turn over the tapes.
Okay.
And then Nixon turned over the tapes. So, yes, the White House can say we're not going to cooperate.
Would that be obstruction of justice?
I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if saying you're not going to do something and taking that to court and then being overturned and then doing it, I don't think that's obstruction of justice.
So who else, what other presidents have been impeached in history?
Andrew Jackson was impeached.
So they voted to,
Bill Clinton was impeached.
Andrew Jackson, they voted to impeach him.
Yes.
Was he then convicted?
He was not
in the
convicted
Senate?
in the Senate.
Okay. President Clinton,
Was impeached.
what were the articles of impeachment for him?
I think they were lying to a grand jury
Uh-huh.
and then obstructing Congress's investigation were the two articles, and I think only the first article passed out of the House.
Did he lie to the grand jury? Or
I think it's reasonable to say that Clinton was not entirely truthful
okay.
when he spoke to the grand jury for the special prosecutor that was investigating Whitewater, but somehow eventually looked into what was happening in the White House with an intern during a government shutdown.
So you could say he did lie, but was not convicted of impeachment.
He was not convicted
Okay.
of it. He was not removed from office in the Senate.
So is impeachment more like a popularity contest? Like people aren't really voting on the articles of impeachment; they're just voting whether to remove this guy or not?
Well, I mean, I would like to think that people in government are behaving from good motives, and impeachment exists because men are imperfect, and we put people in office, and we often need to have a way to remove those people from office. So anyone in the executive branch who is elected or who is appointed by an elected person can be impeached by Congress. Anyone in the judicial branch can be impeached by Congress.
We had an impeachment.
People in
around here.
Congress can't be impeached by Congress.
Oh, okay. So there was a call by President Trump to impeach Mitt Romney.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
That was crazy talk.
Yeah, that, like, I'm not even sure if he could pass the citizens exam.
He doesn't really know how government works.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, because I had to take a test.
I know.
He
Was
got
this
in.
on it?
I can't remember.
No, because you showed me the test. It was a pretty easy test.
It was like, yeah, it was very easy.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people study for it.
Well, not everyone's as brilliant as you.
To be fair, my impression of the test was this is a English speaking test. It doesn't if you can speak English and understand English.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think that's quite true, because don't they like ask you who the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is?
Yeah.
That's not an English question.
But that's
Like, you can know all of those words
Does everybody
and
know that?
not know who the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is.
Doesn't everybody know that? Okay, if convicted and impeached and removed from office,
Yes.
could Donald Trump still run in the 2020 election?
Very unlikely.
Like, is he banned from running or just unlikely he would win?
Well, both.
Okay.
Impeachment, the Senate in their resolution can include a clause which prohibits the person being removed from office from ever holding federal office again.
Okay.
There haven't been that many impeachments ever. When they drew up when they drew up the stuff in the Senate, the resolution which people voted on included a prohibition on Clinton ever serving in public office again.
It's during his first term, so yeah. Which means that
Second
he,
term.
I thought he was impeached in his first term and then he won re-election.
I remember.
Tweet us.
Tweet us. Yeah.
Tweet us, people. Let's say Donald Trump gets impeached.
Sure. It had to be his first term.
Mr. Pence becomes president.
Likely, yes.
Who becomes vice president?
They would then nominate someone to be vice president.
Who?
Pence would nominate.
Oh, Pence would
someone.
just pick someone. He'd appoint
Yes.
someone.
He would pick someone. He would need the consent of the Senate.
Right. Okay.
And the House? Do you need the House for president? You might need the consent of both houses.
We'll look into that.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I have for impeachment. Our next topic: Syria. Yes. I don't even know what's in the show recently, but we ran out of animals like 6 months ago or a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should pay attention.
Yes, you should.
You could. There are other cute animals, Like the internet's full of them.
Kittens. I had kittens on once.
Yeah.
I made one kitten video,
Yeah.
and then one of them ran away. So good thing I had that video.
Yeah.
Just remember them by.
Does the cat come back sometimes at night?
Every night. It comes
Have you
back
thought
to
of
the front.
getting a cat catching thing?
I have thought of getting in that cage.
And?
Someone told me not to.
Okay.
Okay, Syria. We talked on this show.
Sure.
I remember this.
No, I
about
don't.
Syria on
I
episode
don't remember what we talked about in the first half of the show anymore.
episode 82.
Episode 82.
April
Back in the good old
2017.
days.
We talked about Syria 30 episodes ago.
Wow.
So pause this now and go back and watch
back.
that episode.
Yeah.
It was a
Prescient?
fine episode. It was fine.
Did we predict accurately and completely
No.
the situation we find ourselves in today?
No, we only explained the current situation as of then.
Ow.
We didn't see this coming. So
We should start making predictions. Like, mark my word, Bitcoin's going to be like $6 a coin.
okay. Sunday, I'm reading that Donald Trump is announcing that he's withdrawing troops from Syria.
Yeah.
And then when I first heard this, I was like, oh, well, it's nice that we're ending wars and getting out of these
Sure,
places.
yeah.
That's why my first reaction. It was the wrong reaction, I guess. It was explained to me this is a bad move.
Sure, this should be a common. You should be used to this.
That usually my first response
Yeah, you
is the wrong
think
one.
something, and then later you're like, "Oh, that was bad. I don't know why I thought that."
Okay, was removing troops from Syria a surprise move?
I think it surprised an awful lot of people.
Okay, it's like there's like no like building up to this. All of a sudden, we just heard this news, and we were like, "Where did this come from?"
Yeah.
Could it be a phone call between
President
the U.S.
Trump
and Turkey? Say,
what's his name, Erdogan?
if we leave Syria, will you like look into Joe Biden? That kind of thing.
It got to be a phone call because by now they've got to be smart enough not to put it in text.
Okay.
That's all I'm thinking.
So, from what I understand, U.S. was in Syria, hanging out with the Kurds.
U.S. has a small number of troops in Syria, primarily in support and education roles. In the northeast, I believe, part of Syria. Kurds are an ethnic group that lives in what we now call the northern part of Syria and a little bit of the southern part of Turkey and the northern part of Iraq.
A little bit of Iran.
I don't know if they get quite as far over as Iran, but
Okay. They have a region called Kurdistan, which is not a country, but like a region.
yeah,
That
it's
overlaps many countries.
semi-autonomous. Yeah. They are predominantly helping us fight ISIS, which was active in Iraq and in
In Syria.
northern and central Syria.
So they helped us get rid of ISIS.
And they were primarily the people getting rid of ISIS. And they were primarily getting rid of ISIS because the Kurds view that as Kurdish territory, not Islamic Caliphate territory.
Right. And so we were there with them or like supporting them?
The troops were supporting them. But more than that, the fact that there were American troops there meant that America was asserting, we have a small number of people here, but we want X and Y and Z to happen. And the other countries in the area were respecting, Turkey at least, was not doing what they would have liked to do in northern Syria because they didn't want to get on our bad side. And we had said, we are supporting these people here in their fight against these other people who we like the least.
And so then we're now leaving
So
this
Trump
area.
pulling the troops out. Pulling the troops out is tough. There are long supply lines, and you don't just tell everyone to get in their tank and drive back to headquarters. Right? It would take time to safely pull the troops out.
It didn't sound like that happened.
Well, I'm not sure if we've pulled the troops out at all yet.
But okay, I thought the troops were there, so Turkey didn't want to attack the Kurds because U.S. troops were there.
Correct.
Donald Trump announced on Sunday the troops are leaving.
Yes.
Turkey is already
Turkey
attacking
is already
these Kurds.
bombing.
And they would bomb if American soldiers were there, would they?
I
That'd be
don't
attack
think
on the
they
United States.
want to.
Are they attacking U.S. people?
Who knows?
Who knows? When we fight back,
Who
if that
would
happened?
tell us? The Turks aren't going to tell us if they accidentally attack Americans. We're relying on
But we know
our government to tell us that the Turks didn't attack Americans.
so the Turks are.
I think there's a very reasonable possibility that Americans could, in fact, be injured or killed by the Turkish actions.
Why do the Turks want to attack?
Well, the Turks view the Kurds as terrorists because the Kurds believe part of Turkey is part of Kurdistan.
Okay. But so Turkey is just walking into a foreign country, Syria, and like.
Well, I think they're mostly
operations.
flying in.
Okay.
Planes.
Right. But like, does Syria have nothing to say about this? Like, anyone can just.
Syria's in the middle of a civil
Syria?
war, so the Syrian forces are in the southwest part of the country.
They're staying out of this, basically.
Well, they're busy
they're busy.
fighting
Their own
the
people.
Syrian resistance,
Okay.
who are often working together or at least not exactly together, but they kind of had the same goals as the Kurds, which is to not have Syrian forces be in charge of northeast Syria.
Okay.
It's a mess.
Did the Kurds have a gentleman's agreement with the U.S. that, hey,
I think they had more than a gentleman's agreement. I mean, we sent soldiers to fight alongside of them, and
Right.
we talked to them all the time, and we.
so they thought we were allies there to help them out, and then to walk out like that,
Yeah.
was that a dick move of the U.S.?
We've done better.
Now it's true they didn't help us in World War II.
They did not.
Didn't storm Normandy.
Did not help us at Normandy.
Did they help us at Bowling Green?
I think it's entirely possible that the Bowling Green massacre could have been averted if the Kurds had just done one thing. If they lifted their finger, that whole Bowling Green massacre would not have happened.
What were the Kurds doing during World War II?
I think they were being crushed by the Germans.
Oh, it's a common theme, that war.
Yeah.
So
Might have been Italians.
the Democrats and Republicans seem to agree this is a bad thing. In fact, Senator Lindsey Graham, a top
Yeah.
Republican, said, "Pray for our Kurdish allies who have been shamelessly abandoned by the Trump administration. This move ensures the reemergence of ISIS." So that's a President Trump supporter. This sounds like it must be a bad thing.
Did he at President Trump in that tweet?
I don't know.
I doubt he did.
So you think Trump has never heard that this?
By next week, he'll be licking his butt again.
Trump said it was okay to screw over our allies since alliances are very easy.
Alliances are easy.
Wouldn't it be harder in the future if our allies say, hey, you don't stick by your allies, so we don't want to ally with you? You think that's possible?
I don't think so. I mean, we're just going to be so great.
Again,
Everyone is just going to want to be on our side.
until the Turks come and get them.
Sure.
Okay, well, this has been a show.
It's been a show.
We have a short time for tweets.
Do we?
Why impeach him when the Senate will not convict him? Good question.
It still looked bad for him in the history, but it does look good as a resume. That's what I heard.
It's staying in your resume.
Yeah.
It may not get you elected again.
Yeah.
Or
Like
might,
then he'd be the third president ever impeached.
shouldn't they impeach Pence too?
They should.
What did Pence do wrong?
He's implicated in a lot of the same stuff.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Why do Republican senators say what Trump did to Syria is wrong, but they don't really do anything about it? Could they do anything? Could Congress vote and say, keep our troops there? Or is Trump, as commander-in-chief, can just do what he wants?
I think it would be fairly difficult for Congress to force President Trump to keep troops in Syria.
If they voted to impeach him, could then Pence come
Yeah.
back and... Okay. Well, I'm being told that we're out of time. Our next episode is November 14th. All right, great show, Keith.